At the point when most PC organizations are on a perpetual mission to construct slimmer, lighter machines that actually offer enormous power, MSI has gone the alternate way and fabricated a notebook that is an unashamed savage, with beast aspects and the speed to coordinate. That is nothing unexpected when you think about that there's a Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 Ti inside close by one of the world's best portable processors. However, you'll need to fork out a heavy total to get your hands on the Raider. This apparatus costs a powerful $3,799 in the US, £3,999 in the UK, and €4,699 in Europe. In the event that you need this specific model, look for GE77HX12US65 UK. That is strong cash. Yet MSI isn't the main organization siphoning out expensive gaming portables. The Alienware X17R2 costs $3,999 divided by £3,934 divided by €4,503 for a comparable RTX 3080 Ti notebook, while the Razer Sharp Edge 17 shows up at $3,999 divided by £4,099 divided by €4,299 in spite of the fact that, remember, that neither machine very repeats MSI's processor or screen particulars, design and keyboard. Heaps of ports and elements inside a striking, strong frame. An incredible keyboard from the specialists at SteelSeries. It's hardy, however the MSI is tremendous. Thicker and heavier than any opponent. There's no question that the MSI Raider GE77 is an old-fashioned gaming PC. At the front of the aluminum undercarriage is a bar of sparkling RGB LEDs. And around the back you'll find gigantic air vents, a stout pivot, and a splendid, chrome impact MSI Mythical Beast logo. The GE77's design could prove troublesome contrasted with rivals, however, which are outwardly more experienced. The Alienware X17R2 is produced using high-contrast magnesium compound with a ring of backlighting. It's similarly essentially as eye-getting as the MSI, yet looks more present-day. At the opposite finish of the scale, the Razer Edge 17 is an all-dark apparatus that is undeniably more inconspicuous. Get past the GE77's clearly looks and you'll track down a lot of functional contacts. Fabricate quality is great. With barely any given any board, you can truck this apparatus around unafraid of breakages. The ports are very much circulated around the MSI's lines. On the left-hand side are sole USB 3.2 Gen 2 SORT and Type-C ports. And on the right-hand side there are two additional standard USB connectors and a SD card opening. Along the back edge there's a Thunderclap 4 connector that handles 40 Gbps information moves, DisplayPort signals, and 5V divided by 3A charging, which is likewise conceivable utilizing the USB-C attachment. The back-mounted HDMI 2.1 result is convenient for driving 8 Kelvin divided by 60 Hz and 4 Kelvin divided by 120 Hz games on outside displays. And there's a 2.5 gigabits Ethernet attachment. Inside, network comes from double-band Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.2. The main eminent oversight is biometric login. The 1080p webcam doesn't uphold Windows High, and there's no finger impression peruser. The SteelSeries keyboard is awesome as well. The buttons are quick, agreeable, and strong, with a fresh composing activity. It's more fulfilling than the cutting edge's keyboard and similarly on par with what the Alienware's equipment. The main way you'll get anything better is by paying extra for the X17's Cherem X mechanical update. The keyboard has a number cushion, speedy easy routes to open MSI and SteelSeries customization instruments, and per-key RGB Drove backdrop illumination. The main disadvantage is the incorporation of the power button on the keyboard. It's too simple to even think about squeezing unintentionally. The trackpad is poor as well. Simply utilize a mouse, all things considered. MSI's greatest shortcoming is the wellspring of its solidarity in such countless different divisions. At 3 kilograms and with a 26mm thick body, it's a lot thicker than the two opponents and weightier than the Razer, and that is before you add the 1.2 kilograms power block. Screen, an amazing particular, guarantees smooth, sharp gaming. Quality is amazing, albeit the board could be more splendid. You'll find a superior scope of expert displays on rivals. The 17.3 inches display on the MSI Raider GE77 matches a 2560x1440 resolution with a 240 Hz refresh rate, which looks good for most situations. The resolution is sufficiently fresh to convey sharp visuals in single-player games, and the speed empowers smooth playback in many esports circumstances. Essentially, the 3ms reaction time is fine yet will not satisfy top-level esports fans. The difference proportion of 1197 to 1 is nice, empowering great profundity and liveliness. And the screen's superb delta E of 1.32 means tones are accurate. MSI's display produced all the sRGB range as well, so it'll produce each tone required by standard titles. Games look superb here. The display has no critical issues, in spite of the fact that its pinnacle splendor level of 359 nits isn't sufficiently high for the vast majority outside circumstances and isn't adequate to empower HDR interactivity. The MSI's greatest screen test comes from the assortment accessible somewhere else, in light of the fact that the Alienware is accessible, with heaps of various elective board choices. At the point when the Alienware was worked with an identical particular to the MSI, however with a 1080p divided by 360Hz screen, the cost showed up at $3,499 divided by £3,749 divided by €3,999. With the 480Hz screen it sits at $3,999 divided by £4,099 divided by €3,999. In this way, more often than not, you'll get a superior esports board at no additional expense. On the off chance that you need crisper single-player gaming, the Alienware's 4 Kelvin variation costs $3,999 divided by £4,299 divided by €4,753. The main disadvantage is that the Alienware's 2560x1440 screen runs at 165 Hz as opposed to 240 Hz of the MSI. The MSI has a top screen for single-player gaming and standard esports circumstances. However, the Alienware could be a superior choice in the event that you need an expert board for 4 Kelvin gaming or top-of-the-line contest. Great sound unit reinforces the display. The GE77 incorporates 2 1W speakers and 2 2W woofers, and they produce strong, point-by-point and punchy sound with heaps of bass and volume. A decent headset will be better, however this stuff makes games sound brilliant. Execution. Unmatched power in games. Enough processing skill to deal with practically any work circumstance. Stronger than rivals assuming that you push the equipment in extreme undertaking. Nvidia's GeForce RTX 3080 Ti runs at its pinnacle power cutoff of 175W. And somewhere else the GE77 packs 16GB of video memory and 7424 CUDA centers. The Center i9-12900HX is one of Intel's beefiest PC chips thanks to the consideration of 8 hyper-strung P centers, support for 24 strings, and a top super speed of 5 GHz. This MSI Raider GE77 has 32GB of double-channel DDR5. And a 1TB Samsung SSD with extraordinary read and compose rates of 785 MB per second and 141 MB per second. I simply wish it was bigger. Fortunately, underneath the baseboard, it's not difficult to get to sets of SSD and memory spaces. The computer chip is the genuine article, by the same token. The Center i9 chip hit 1833 and 15,872 in Geekbench's single and multi-center tests. The previous outcome is perfect, and the last option is miles past the more traditional chips inside the Alienware and Razer machines. And keeping in mind that the MSI didn't match the opposition in PC Imprint 10, that is nothing unexpected thinking about that test's low-end jobs. This processor will handle any satisfied creation task, from bunch processing photographs to delivering 4 Kelvin video. It'll stream, perform various tasks, and run intense work programming effortlessly. It's quicker than the chips on offer in rivals, in spite of the fact that it's pointless access for some individuals. You possibly need this chip assuming you require colossal productivity power. Battery. Shockingly, the MSI endures longer in games than any of its rivals. You'll get almost 8 hours of purpose from this PC assuming that you run unobtrusive programming. A most amazing aspect regarding the MSI Raider GE77 is its battery life, on the grounds that it's not horrendous. In a gaming test, the MSI went on for 1 hour 44 minutes, which is almost an hour in front of the opposition. In a work benchmark, the Raider took care of 4 HRS 35 minutes of regular use. It conveyed 3 hours of content creation utilization, and it ran video with decreased display brilliance for almost 8 hours. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.